Here's what we have cooking up on today's show. John Lynch sat down with Peter Schrager on Good Morning Football from the NFL Combine, talked about Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. ESPN predicted that Jimmy G will get traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers and be their 2022 starter. Raheem Mostert, a lot of rumblings about him returning to the Bay, an idea that's really grown on me the last couple of weeks. But first, before we get into all of that, do you love the San Francisco 49ers? If that's the case, show me. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and let's talk some Niners football right now. Welcome in to the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. A lot to get to on today's show, and we first start off with what John Lynch had to say to Peter Schrager about Trey Lance and his potential, about Jimmy Garoppolo's injury, and the trade value he has on the NFL trade market. We first start off with this, John Lynch talking about Jimmy G trade interest across the National Football League. He kept it as honest as he could, I guess, saying, quote, that situation is active and fluid. A lot of teams have interest in Jimmy G. It's pretty obvious that we put a lot into Trey Lance, and we're loving the development of Trey. Now, of course, John Lynch in the public sphere is going to say there are a bevy of teams that are interested in Jimmy Garoppolo at this point of the NFL offseason. It's all about leverage, right, between some of these NFL executives, because for John Lynch, it's his job to get the best value back if they do decide to trade away Jimmy G. Going back to yesterday's news about the Garoppolo shoulder injury, John Lynch did say, look, anytime we're talking about a shoulder injury with a quarterback, there is room for concern, but it was a minor injury, and it's going to be a minor procedure. Again, a little bit of jockeying maybe with Jimmy G's trade value. There's also some conspiracy theories out there that Jimmy G didn't get the surgery or isn't going to get the surgery until the next couple of weeks because he's trying to just outright get cut by the 49ers so that he can pick his destination. And there's a big question out there. Why was there a delay in Garoppolo going under the knife? Why didn't it happen right after the year, and why hasn't it happened yet? Jimmy did try to rehab that shoulder injury. According to John Lynch, it didn't work, so now he has turned to surgery to try to square everything away with that throwing arm. As for what John Lynch had to say about his soon-to-be sophomore quarterback, who the 49ers moved up to number 3 to take in the 2021 NFL Draft, I tell people he's everything we thought he was when we traded a lot to go get him and more. I really believe that. So there's a ton of excitement, of course. There's some unknown. There's always that in this game. But Trey's made of the right stuff. You can only hope that he's a Patrick Mahomes type of player or anything close to that. I think he's just got that makeup that the great ones do. And he's going to get a chance to show that. Now, John Lynch didn't definitively say that Trey Lance is going to be the 49ers starting quarterback in 2022 under head coach Kyle Shanahan. But you look at the verbiage there, it seems as though, or at least it's my takeaway, that the 49ers, they want to thank Jimmy G for his 5 seasons in the Bay, brought them to 2 NFC championship games in 3 years, a Super Bowl appearance in 2019, but the future is and is going to be Lance, and they're moving in that direction. So from that, I ask you this. Do you want Trey Lance to start in 2022? Get into the comment section right now and speak up, faithful. S for start, B for backup. Get those votes in and chime into the comment section. That'll be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, just scroll on down and get your votes in. Next up, ESPN predicted which quarterbacks start with all 32 teams in the National Football League, and Field Yates provided a breakdown for why he thinks the quarterbacks are going to start with those respective teams. He has Jimmy Garoppolo starting 2022 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, something that we've been talking about for weeks, and he has Trey Lance as the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Here's what Field Yates had to say about Trey area. I'm of the mind that it's not a total certainty that Jimmy Garoppolo is gone this offseason, but it feels like the most likely outcome, and that would pave the way for Lance to take the reins after San Francisco used the number 3 overall pick on him last year. The expectation will be clear. Stay near the top of the heap in the NFC with Lance under center. As for what Field Yates had to say about Garoppolo starting the year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with Lance forecasted as the starter in San Francisco, Jimmy G needs a new home, and Pittsburgh checks some of those proper boxes. The Steelers have a massive need, cap space to afford them, and are far enough down in the draft order in a class that doesn't offer any surefire quarterback prospects that a veteran trade makes sense to keep this team in the playoff mix. And this is why all along I have kind of been in that stance where I think Garoppolo fits best with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, he did so much for this football team. He's a quality starting quarterback, about in that middle tier of NFL starters. And for him, I think it's the best destination. And for Pittsburgh, I think Garoppolo playing in Pittsburgh is the best place as well. Really good coaching staff, really good running game, really good wide receivers, and a very good defense. Jimmy G is not the quarterback because he's physically limited, who's going to throw on the book bag, put the team on his back, and lead you to the promised land. He needs complementary pieces around him, and I think more so than any other team across the NFL, maybe in addition to the Washington Commanders, the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to offer that. I want you to look into your crystal ball. Be a genie in a bottle, baby. And let me know where you think Jimmy G is going to play in 2022. 49ers, Pittsburgh, Washington Commanders, maybe even the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of quarterback-starved teams going into this offseason. That's why I continue to say the market for Jimmy G will be pretty vast. Now, we're officially in March. Crazy that we're 3 months into this 2022 year, and that means that St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. I can't wait for St. Patty's Day because here in Dallas, Texas, where Chat Sports is headquartered, I'm going to be drinking green beer, and I'm going to be going hard and partying alongside the homie producer Jeremy Chuggs. And I'm probably going to cop one of these 49ers St. Patrick's themed day shirts because they're available on sale right now for some really crazy discounted prices, all thanks to our friends at Fanatics. Several items available. Women's shirts, women's sweatshirts, guy shirts, George Kittle jerseys. Can even get some St. Patrick's Day 49ers themed socks. But here's the deal. In order to get those deals, some of these items, it's crazy how cheap they are. You have to plug in that link down below. It's chatsports.com/49ersgreen. I'm going to put that link in the comment section as well as the description of this video. Now, so far up to this point on today's show, we've been talking about the quarterbacks, Trey as well as Jimmy GQ. Let's shift to the backfield. Raheem Mostert. A lot of rumblings about the 49ers wanting to bring him back to the Bay, coming off that injury-plagued season last year in which he only played 4 snaps in 2021, and the feeling seems to be mutual. Now, I think the Miami Dolphins are in play to also sign Raheem Mostert because I think they can fork over a little bit more money than the 49ers, but Kyle Shanahan, we'll see if Bobby Turner comes back. Anytime they get their hands on a running back, they end up just being such productive players. But here's what NBC Sports Bay Area reported on Raheem Mostert. 49ers have shown interest in re-signing veteran running back Raheem Mostert, according to his agent, Brett Tessler. Tessler did not offer any details about the conversations with the 49ers front office, but simply told NBC Sports Bay Area they've been in touch. Now, a few months ago, I would have said, look, you have Trey Sermon, you have Elijah Mitchell. I don't think you need to bring back Raheem Mostert. He's older, he's injury prone, and he can be somewhat expensive. But the running back market is really wide. And I think Raheem Mostert will be able to come back on a discounted price because he's coming off an injury-plagued season in which he only played 4 snaps in 2021. Another reason why I like him coming back to the backfield in Kyle Shanahan's offense, he can be a quality pass-catching back. And I think Elijah Mitchell showed that he can do that at least a little bit. I'd like to see him do it a little bit more. But look, the 49ers season ended when JaMycal Hasty went out into the flat and Jimmy Garoppolo was flailing around and threw the football to him. I don't want to see JaMycal Hasty as a pass-catching back. I want to see those duties go to Elijah Mitchell. Raheem Mostert is very good at that, and that's not counting the fact that he has some really top-end speed, 4.3 type of guy. So if I'm the Niners, look, I want to move forward with the youth movement. Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon. Outside of that, if Raheem Mostert is your RB3, you're in a really good situation. He can be a 3-down back. He can provide some pass blocking protection. He can go out on wheel routes, out into the flat, out for some hitch routes, and really give you a dynamic element with the speed, with the pass catching ability, and with, of course, the toting the rock ability to really do damage in this Niners offense. Now, he's been injured the last 2 years. 2020, he played about half the games. 2019, though, he really showed what he was able to do en route to that Super Bowl appearance. 137 carries, 772 yards, 8 touchdowns, average yards per carry at 5.6. In the NFC Championship game, he went wild against the Green Bay Packers with 4 total touchdowns. Mostert can play. It all comes down to the money. Yes, he's been injury prone, but if he's your RB3 behind Sermon and Mitchell, you're in a good spot going into 2022, especially if you can get him at a discounted price on a short-term deal because he is in his late 20s. So I'm curious. You want to see Raheem Mostert back in the Bay? Let me know. B for back, C for see ya. Get those votes in. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're keeping you in the know, better than any 49ers channel on YouTube. We're keeping it real, involving you in all of our shows. So let's ride and continue to grow the faithful family.